This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Recording in progress.
Okay, a guten Erev Shabbos Haggadah. You know, maybe that's another nafkamina. When you tell somebody a guten Erev Shabbos, by Shabbos Haggadah, you should say a guten Erev Shabbos Haggadah. Now I'd like to share with you the Davar Yafeh Be'itoi, connecting Parshas Metzorah to the Zman of the year. I don't know why the email didn't get out yet, but this is what it's going to look like. First of all, everybody's invited to join us for the Shabbos Haggadah Drasha. By the way, the matzah over here that you see on the ad, we will not be giving out this matzah at the Shabbos Haggadah. I don't want anyone to think they're going to come and they're going to be munching on matzah. It's just a prop for the ad, okay? So I don't want any false advertising. And as you see, the Sefer, the Fire, and the Soul is being prepared for publication. The good news is that, actually it's a surprising news, that the title has been changed. It will no longer be called The Fire and the Soul. ArtScroll wants it to be called Lag Ba'omer, The Fire and the Soul. It has to have Lag Ba'omer in the title. Otherwise someone's going to go into the bookstore, they're going to say, do you have any books on Lag Ba'omer? And the storekeeper is going to say, Lag Ba'omer? I never heard of that. What is that? So this way, if it has Lag Ba'omer in the title, maybe people will realize what it's on. And that's available if anybody would like to participate. Please let us know. Okay. Connecting Parshas Metzorah to the Zman of the Shana. Here we go. Now this is really amazing. Actually, in Shulchan Aruch and Orach Chaim Siman Tav Chav Ches Siv Daled, it's brought that we always read Parshas Tzav before Pesach in a regular year, and we always read Metzorah in a Shana Me'uberes. There are exceptions. Sometimes by Shana Me'uberes you read Achrei Mos before Pesach, and the Mechaber even gives a siman, Sigru u'pischu, lock up the Metzorah and partake of the Karban Pesach. But amazingly, the Bir Halacha says, what would Parshas Metzorah have to do with Pesach? And Rabbi said, this is a gold mine, like we pointed out, Parshas Tzav, because here you have a sefer of halacha explaining why a particular parsha is read at a certain time. And the Bir Halacha brings down from the Eliyah Rabbah in the name of the Avudraham that Parshas Metzorah, it talks about breaking a kli cheres, which is similar to Hagalas Kelim, which is relevant to the Yom Tov of Pesach. So this is really remarkable that you have a sefer of halacha explaining what the connection of the parsha is to the time of the year. Now, an interesting idea is that in most years, Tazria Metzorah are read during Sfira. Do you ever notice the fact during Sfira we have Tazria Metzorah, sometimes Achrei Mos Kedoshim, and often Bahar B'chu Kaisai? There is no other time of the year that has more consecutive double Parshios than the days of Sfira. And think about the hashgacha in the arrangement of the Parshios, that Hashem is giving Klal Yisrael extra opportunities to prepare for Kabbalas HaTorah by having more Parshios and more Torah. Now, the pasuk says, Uba asher loy habayis. It says that if someone has taras on their house, the one who the house belongs to him will come. And Chazal explain, Amar Rav Shmuel bar Nachmani, Amar Rav Yochanan, for 7 things negaim come. One of them is stinginess, like it says, Uba asher loy habayis, the one who the house belongs to him, that he reserves his house for him and for nobody else. So one of the causes of one of the causes of tsaras is tsaros ha'ayin, stinginess, which is very appropriate, and usually we read Parshas Metzorah in the days of Sfira. Why? Because the Medrash says, why did the students of Rabbi Akiva pass away? Not what you think. The Gemara says, because Shalai Noagu Kavod Zeh B'zeh. But the Medrash says, Shahaisa Einehem Tsara, Elu Ba'elu. They were stingy to each other. So it really is thematic to the Yemei HaSfira that we read about Saras, which comes for Tsaras Ha'ayin, in the time that we are working on this Midah. Now, I'm going to come back to this Imrei Noyam soon. Rav Meir Shapiro compares the purification of the Metzorah with the Ezoiv and the Agud to the taking of the Agudas Ezoiv of the Karban Pesach. And Rav Meir Shapiro explains, we know that Paroi had saras in Mitzrayim, and he slaughtered Jewish children, and he bathed in their blood. Why did Paroi think that by bathing in the blood of Jews, it would cure his saras? Says Rav Meir Shapiro, on the pasuk Ru'u ki ra'a neged penechem, Rashi says that Paroi saw blood in the future for the Jewish people, and Hashem transformed it into Dam Mila and Dam Pesach. That the Dam Mila and the Dam Pesach would heal Klal Yisrael from their tzaras, so to speak. Like Chazal say, Mishchu kuchulachem tzoin, pull away from Avodah Zarah. Says Rav Meir Shapiro, it's not that Klal Yisrael actually were worshipping Avodah Zarah, but rather they were probably doing something that was similar to Avodah Zarah, like Gaiva. And therefore they were given the Karban Pesach, that through the Agudas Ezoiv, Utivaltem Badam, it was like the purification of a Metzorah, which is also requires tikkun for Gaiva. In any event, by putting the dam on their doorpost the night of Pesach, on the 15th of Nisan, that was a cure for their Midas Hagaiva. So in Mitzrayim's problem were they were Baalei Gaiva, they were called Rehavim. They had the Midah of Gaiva, which that's what it means. Paroi had saras, and therefore Paroi thought, he saw in the future that the Jewish people would be healed through blood. He didn't know it was the Dam of Pesach and the Dam of Milah. He got confused he thought it was their blood. But since Paroi saw in the future the Jewish people would be healed by their tzaras through blood, Paroi didn't realize it was the Dam Pesach and the Dam Milah. Paroi thought it was their blood, that's why Paroi bathed in their blood. What's amazing is, the Ibn Ezra in the beginning of our Parsha, it's Mamish Oyam V'Noira. The Ibn Ezra says, the Eitz Erez, the Shni Tailas, and the Ezoiv was the purification of the Metzorah. Says the Ibn Ezra, the Metzorah and the Bayis Hamenuga are very close to each other. They are like Pesach Mitzrayim. In other words, what's the Ibn Ezra saying? Mitzrayim was like Tzaras, and leaving Mitzrayim is like analogous to the Taras HaMetzorah. According to this analogy, we understand why we read Metzorah right before Pesach. Tzaras is analogous to being in Mitzrayim, and the purification of the Metzorah is analogous to Yitzias Mitzrayim. Now we understand what the connection is between the Tara of the Metzorah and Yitzias Mitzrayim. That's why when Hashem wants to prove to Moshe Rabbeinu that He's going to take us out of Mitzrayim, what does Hashem say to Moshe? Put your hand in your lap, and Moshe pulls it out, and it had saras. Then he put his hand in again, and it disappeared. How is that a siman that Hashem's going to take us out of Mitzrayim? Comes out very beautiful according to the Ibn Ezra. Because being in Mitzrayim was like leprosy. Leaving is like the purification of leprosy. So Hashem's telling Moshe, just like your hand has saras and you're cured from it, you are in Mitzrayim, which is like saras, and I'm going to take you out of it. That's why it's very interesting. Paroi, when Sarah went down to Mitzrayim, the first time we have Negoim in the Torah, it came to Paroi when he took Sarah. Vayenaga Hashem es Paroi, Negoim Gedolim v'es Beisai. And then the leaving of Sarah was the Masei Avos Siman Labanim to the freeing of the Jewish people from Mitzrayim. So the purification of the Metzorah is the analogy to Yitzias Mitzrayim. So you think it's a coincidence that we read in Parshas Metzorah right before the Yom Tov of Pesach? And furthermore, in the Sefer Kluger, he brings, that's why, as part of leaving Mitzrayim, Klal Yisrael had to sprinkle themselves with the blood of the Karban Pesach on the mashgoif and on the two mezuzos, that just like the purity of the Metzorah, they used an azov for the sprinkling, so too, when Klal Yisrael left Mitzrayim, they also used the azov and the Eitz Erez, because this was similar to the purification of the Metzorah. In fact, the Imrei Noyam of Jacob brings that we know that the purpose of the Yom Tif of Pesach is to prepare for Shavuos, which was the completion of Yetzias Mitzrayim. Mitzrayim is Tsaras. If you flip around the letters, it becomes Atzeres, Shavuos. Being in Mitzrayim was Tsaras. Leaving Mitzrayim took us out of the Tsaras, and we re-scrambled it to make Atzeres. And that's why Chazal say at Kabbalas HaTorah, all the Mitzrayim were healed. And through the Dam Pesach and the Dam Mila were Mevatel Tsaras. The Gematria of Pesach Beris is Tsaras, and that transforms Tsaras into Atzeres. By the way, Imrei Noyam says that the reason why Mitzrayim is like Tsaras comes for arrogance, and Mitzrayim is a source of arrogance. Li ya'ori v'ani asasini. Therefore, the klipa of Mitzrayim is Tsaras. So there cannot be anything that is more Davar, Yafeh, Be'itai than to lane Parshas Metzorah, the Shabbos before Pesach. Okay, so that is the second offering for today.
Recording stopped.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.